Welcome to Recouped the podcast, where we uncover the depths of sustainability and its impact on the world.
We're your hosts, Vicky
and Michelle.
And together we'll explore what it means to live more sustainably. Okay, Michelle, have I told you about one of those dates that I went on when I was wild and free? And it really, I wouldn't call it the worst day ever, but it really wasn't that amazing.
It's a core date memory.
I remember, yes.
Not in a good kind.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But like, okay, I'm going to just tell you now if I can remember, because I haven't really thought about it, all the details in a long time, but I remember. Do you remember the dating OkCupid? The dating site, okay? Yes. So my sister was recently single and she was like, oh, Vicky, go on OkCupid. It's free. You can meet people, go on dates, because she was really encouraging me. I came out of a really long-term relationship. And she was like, oh, go on this website, find some people, have some fun, da da da. I was like, oh, okay, I'll give it a try. So I go on OkCupid, and in the area that I was in, which is in Mount Vernon area, this is no shade to anyone in Mount Vernon, but it was slim pickings. At least for me, it was slim pickings. And I remember meeting a guy, and I can't remember his name now, and he was like my age, but he was a fisherman or something. I don't know what it was, but he looked all right in his picture. His hair was cut. He looked nice and clean. At this time, I worked in a retail store where I was selling like clothing. And so I had to be fun and fashion all the time, you know. And it was a manager there, and I remember talking about like jeans, and I don't know why, because that's what I sold. I go on this date being like so cute, wearing like, I remember my outfit was so cute. The cutest wedges. My hair was done. I had jewelry on. I was wearing makeup. I had a little boobies showing. Being all cute. And then I'm waiting around for this guy. And this woolly mammoth of a man comes in. Disheveled as shit. He looked like there was dirt on his skin. Like dirty. Facial hair. And I don't mind it. The thing is, his picture did not portray the man that walked in. He was wearing, it was like not one of those introduction outfits. Holes in his shoes. I was just like, okay.
But did you know it was him?
I recognized him because he recognized it was me. And I was like, oh.
Because you're not catfishing anyone.
No. And okay, I'm going to pretend his name is Justin or Jeremy or something. I think it was a J. And I was like, oh, hi, Jeremy. Like, nice to meet you. And then I just remember being like really confused and I didn't know what to do because this was like after a long-term relationship. I hadn't really dated, you know, and so I'm like, I don't know what to do. I was like, whatever, I'm here, I'm gonna have fun. I just remember we went to a restaurant. I don't know what we were doing, but he drank so much.
Oh no.
He was just so roasted toasted. I personally as a human felt uncomfortable leaving him. Because I was worried, like, you live 45 minutes away from where we met. And I'm worried. So then the date ended up being until very late into the evening because I ended up taking him to Denny's so he could drink coffee. Isn't that romantic? I took him to Denny's. That would be
horrible.
Yeah, I remember.
That would be like, if you guys continue to date, it would almost be like a trauma bond. Like him and his worst.
I wish you guys could see me roll my eyes. Because I remember even
and he nursed him back to health. And
Ew.
he didn't breathe the next day. And they lived happily ever after.
No way ever. It was just, I just remember it just being like one of those things. I'm like, am I really doing this? I remember taking him to Denny's to get him coffee. And I just remember it was just like, I felt so uncomfortable. Like not uncomfortable, like I was afraid of him or in danger or anything like that. I just felt uncomfortable leaving this nice man. He was nice and kind.
Do you think he was like a lightweight, or do you think he was like he drinks every day and needs to just keep drinking, or was he like trying to party and hoping that maybe you were matching his?
I actually think it was the latter. I think he thought we were going to be out to have fun. He probably think we were going to hook up. He probably thought all these things. He probably thought things were going wonderful. He should have shaved and he should have put clean clothes.
Yeah.
Then I actually don't know what would happen. Like,
yeah.
I just was like, that's not happening again. And I remember him messaging me after the fact. And of course, I wasn't like grown and mature enough to be like, thank you so much for the date, but it seems like our journeys aren't ending in the same place. I just kind of slowly faded back with my messaging, and I just kind of disappeared. I didn't ghost him. I just slowly faded out. But I remember that being one of those things I think about. I was catfished in a way. And then I just remember him being like, oh, yeah, well, I can dress nice. And I remember him also, like, commenting on my clothes. Like, oh, you're dressed really nice. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm on a first date. And then he was like, oh, yeah, well, I can afford this and I can afford that. And I could probably go to your store and buy all this stuff. And so I think he was trying to really impress me. Mm-hmm. But I was done as soon as woolly mammoth came through the door. I don't know how to describe it. It was not attractive. It was like, it was not.
Like, and that's how I met Zach. Shout out to Babe. I'm shaved.
and my current partner Zach looks nothing like this other human. Just to put that out there, y'all. It's so funny.
Could you imagine that's how you started? If you haven't,
it's a love story.
If you haven't guessed already, the topic of today's show is relationships,
sustainable, sustainable relationships.
This
love,
is like one that's been building up forever because we always talk about it
every day, all day. Mm-hmm. Like that's
in all aspects of relationship.
You're right. Every day.
We always do so much good work, like research and to figure out how to have the best.
We like
therapy.
We like Brene Brown each other.
Yes, we do.
Right? Mm-hmm. We like therapy. Mel Robinson.
If anybody wants to know the secret,
come and chat with us.
Come and work with us for a day.
we got all the stuff for you. Well,
but online dating.
Yeah.
Because Mitchell and I have been together for 20 years this year, and we were both very young when we met each other and had a fun, wild time in our 20s and had kids and stuff. And but I always thought that if online dating was something that I did, I would not put a very, very good picture of myself on there.
Really? Mm-hmm. Why?
Because I think it would be like every time somebody would just be like disappointed, a little bit disappointed. Wouldn't you rather be like a little pleasantly surprised? Like, oh, they're way better looking in real life.
You know what? When we get the guys on the show.
They choose you with your worst photo?
Yeah. This is actually funny because I thought I was really cute in my pictures, but then Zach told me in real life, because I did also meet him online. He was like, that I looked better in real life. I was like, oh yeah, curl my hair and put on some blush. I look real good. Yeah. But I get what you're saying. Because then you're like, oh my gosh.
He looks way better. Yeah.
I get it.
Not like the beard, like that.
The beard?
Like the beard.
The beard? Oh.
Like that. That's like catfishing almost, to me. Like.
No, you're right. He should have showed me the woolly mammoth version
more pictures of like all the versions of him.
Correct. Yeah. Actually, that's a good idea. Anybody
like
out there?
Have you ever seen the show You?
Yeah, a long time ago. Or not a long time, but yeah, a little bit ago. You. Oh, dang. Yeah.
Well.
Michelle, what does it mean to be in a sustainable relationship?
Oh man.
So this is
a good one.
Yeah. So we talk about sustainability, we talk about recycling and upcycling and companies and brands, but now we're hitting home.
I guess, I know it's hard to like pinpoint because there's like so much that you can unravel. Like what makes a relationship good? Like you start like backwards on what's worked and those big, huge, life-changing.
Yeah. I guess over all this time, it's been 20 years. Okay, we'll talk about it in the love relationship part of it, right? In the love part of it, in over these 20 years, what are a few things that you can pinpoint, top notch, that you could say is supportive of being sustainable? Like what Mitchell does for you or what you do for him and how you guys support each other in that way. Because you have kids. Yeah.
So there are so many things. And I don't think it probably wasn't even until the last like 5 years that you can really start pinpointing it because then you can like look back and reflect on things and the growth. And that's what makes it the most, sustainable is being able to like, look back on the things that we've kind of stopped doing that weren't sustainable or changed because we've adapted and changed. Yeah. Given each other room to grow ourselves, which was a big one because we're both kind of like, we like to have that independence and then just like support each other. But then we're like very much a team unit. Like always ask each other first before making decisions, those big decisions.
Yeah.
Or then trusting, you know, which we talk about too, like trusting people that you are maintaining relationships to make decisions.
Yes.
So I definitely think it was learning like the value of marriage to us, like that bigger investment. Like it's the biggest decision investment that you'll make. So once I started learning more, like you need to do stuff for your future self. So that would involve like your husband, your 50%. So, and then learning like how much more you love that person over time, you know, like every year it's better and better and better. And we both kind of end up falling on the same page, and we're in like that kid era right now with 3 kids. It's crazy, but we do therapy and it's great. So yeah, there's like a lot of things I guess we can kind of break through. And
so like when I'm hearing you say this, I'm thinking about, okay, one is like the sustainable part of it is being flexible in the relationship, not the flexible in the sense of like knowing that we as humans will change and we will grow into different ways. Our path is still the same end. We want to be at the same place. We want to be old, sitting on our rocking chairs in the sunset. But to get there, you give each other the flexibility as far as like, okay, like for you, like these past year and a half for us has been huge. So like for you, you were a stay-at-home mom for 11 years. And the next thing you know, you're like, honey, I'm starting a business and our way of life is going to change a little bit. I'm not going to be as at home. You know, like you will always be available. Kids and the family will always come first. But maybe dinner's not on you every night.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there might be a little bit more takeout, or that, you know, Mitchell will pick up making dinner at home.
The nice thing is like one of the best parts of like our roles, because we do have such a like that traditional type of marriage in like the outside like grand scheme of things, where he's like the provider and I, you know, take care of basically everything else like at home for the kids. I'm available. And but we haven't had it like that. That's always just been like, oh, we're gonna save money on daycare cost, and I'll be here during this short time available with the kids. I'll be like super hands-on, and that's just like how we wanted it. But then also it's like at any point, if I was like, I want to go to work, like that was my choice, and he would support it. So there are like that modern, I guess it's hard though, like that modern way of living, you know, we were raised in that generation of like women are coming out of that domesticated role. So it's like, be independent. Yeah. But then also still be a super good mom and stay home with your kids. Like,
and it's hard.
So it's almost impossible to find that balance, but having like that supportive partner. And Mitchell does so good. That's the thing. He's like a super dad, so he can take on those maternal roles. He might not do it up to like my standards of how I want, you know, the daily household to run, but he's got the diapers, he's got
at the end of the day, the most important things are taken care of.
He can go tuck our kids in and they're not going to be like crying because I'm the only one that ever does it. We definitely have like that 50-50.
So it's like that give and take, right?
Yeah.
So now we're talking about marriages, but now I'm going to open it up to like other types of relationships, right? So when we talk about that sustainability, and I have a feeling that this trend is going to move into other relationships with with colleagues and work, and then with friendships outside of love relationships, right? Do you think the criteria of your life or criteria of your sustainable relationship, do you think that changes within different types of relationships? Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Was that confusing?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Like, does it change for you? Or is it... Because, like, to me, in my head, yes, it changes, but not really. Because in the end, it has to be equitable.
Yes.
Equal?
Yes.
No. But equitable.
Yeah.
And to me, when I think about relationships in that way...
like an investment.
Like an investment, but equitable in the sense of, like, okay. Like the give and take, equitable. Maybe, let's say, okay, in our outside of business and our friendship, maybe, well, I can't think of it off the spot, but like, emotionally.
Yes. Like we can do all the examples, like if something's happening and one of us needs to like full-blown emotional support.
Yes. And we're
and
like,
it is
okay.
so different than like full-blown emotional support from a husband. I definitely think there has to be.
Correct.
Because you can get different things.
Yeah. Well, okay, actually.
But that's like typical. Because then we could also go into like how girlfriends are like the staple of.
Wait.
Like
we're going to do it. Hold on. We're going to take a little, not left turn, but a little 405.
This is what we normally do anyway.
So I listened.
We'll U-turn back around.
Yes. So with how you said the girlfriends and all this stuff. So I listened to this NPR episode years ago. It was actually sent from a good friend, Devin, and it was about marriages and relationships and stuff. And one of the biggest thing, and the way I'll do it in the quickest way, was about marriages. And it was so beautiful, and it was a beautiful reminder. And Zach and I listened to it, and we actually listen to it every few years just as a reminder of where we are. But it basically was saying, you know, when you grow up in your life, right, you in elementary school, and this is for women that I can speak to. Elementary school, middle school, high school, college, or young adulthood, you have your tribe. You got your girlfriends, right? You have the one that goes shopping with you, and the one who goes to party with you, and you have the one that goes to the boring family functions with you, you know, but then you have that tribe, right? So imagine through your life, you had a tribe, and it was like 5-6 people deep. But then you get married, and then all of a sudden, you drop your tribe, and then you lay the roles of those 5-6 people onto just your husband. And that is so disappointing.
Yeah.
Because,
it is.
Because that one person, not because your husband isn't great and he can't do it, but realistically, can one person really do the job emotionally of 5 different people? Because everyone has different personalities, or the way they handle things, or, you know what, right now, I know what Michelle needs.
Yeah.
She needs me to get her ass out of the house. Yeah. We need to go hiking. You've done this for me before.
Yeah.
You want to go hiking? We're going to go hiking. You want to go take a walk? What do you want to do? We need to get out of the house. We need to do this. Whereas I'm like, no, I want none of that. I want to be a slug in a rug, curled up in a blanket, watching a dumb show, you know? But knowing that people can do that for you, right? And knowing that where I'm going with it is the different criteria of the relationships. And you can't lay it all on one person. Basically, that was my little segue.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be sustainable to like come to your partner for those things. It's just like, you know, grandma has your kid for a little bit and spoils them and has so much fun, but then at the end of the day, they get to bring the kid home. It's not theirs all the time. That's why it's like, you know, those types of, like, if at home everything was coming to the spouse.
Yeah.
About these issues, it would be like,
it's hard.
It would weigh a lot on them.
Yes. And then maintaining those relationships, that tribe, maybe it's not 5 or 6 people, you know, as we get older, I think our circles get smaller and they get a little bit tighter, and everyone plays a different role.
Yeah.
All equally important. But
yeah. And then it ends up being like coworkers are your like confidants.
Yeah.
And like, because in all of my past jobs, I've had those people that you work with that are like your people.
Well, and
that you couldn't even do. You like feel like you couldn't work.
Yeah, if they weren't there. Yeah. And you see them every day. And then
the funniest times. Those are the people that you. But then you can't have those same high expectations on those coworkers all the time of like outside of work, friendship.
No,
you know,
you're right.
Like,
no,
because it would just
totally
be different. It's almost like, what is it? Conflict of interest.
I know, but you know what's so weird? You and I are kind of conflicty of interesty.
Yeah. And I thought about that, but we thought about that too.
We did, but not in a bad way. I'm just saying in the scheme of what you're saying, that would be conflict of interest, but I think we found a way to like...
Yeah.
Because like what? We're neighbors. We're business partners. And we're friends.
But then we didn't meet through work.
We didn't.
No, because when I think of all my past coworkers that I had, like, that were... people, like, I met them at the job and became close to them, like, at work.
Yes.
Like, I didn't even know what kind of car they drove until, like, a couple years into our friendship. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
like,
you're
we go out to lunch together for work and stuff, but, like, yeah, hanging outside of work, it is just different. It's, I don't know.
Yeah. So
but for us, yeah, it's totally different.
It is different, but we're like...
Because we're also neighbors.
We're neighbors.
And then friends.
And every, like... I don't know. Like, we're really, like... enmeshed, not in a bad way, but like we literally see each other every day. Our families see each other every day. I see your boys literally every day.
If we went into like 100 years ago or 200 years ago or like any time place and time of like the dynamics of our lives,
Yeah.
I think what we would be doing every day would be totally in line with like
on par of what we're doing now, but 200 years ago.
But because it would be like,
So it'd be
we'd probably be like
weaving wool or not weaving, like spooling wool.
Churning our butter, and then going to town to like picket and riot when they're like burning witches.
Yeah.
And be like, no,
and then we'd be out there
women's rights.
rights. Hey, you want some of this butter? It's real good butter.
Yeah.
It's sustainable butter.
From only the best cows. But because it would just be one thing or another. Like, we're going to do that life thing. Like, it just works. And then our partner, like my husband and your boyfriend are very much.
They're total buddies.
Too.
Yeah.
My kids.
Yeah. They love him.
But we did talk about that. Like, when we first started the business together, of like, we have to have our work-life balance.
Yes, that was really important too, was to make sure that was one, because I knew how important, from my perspective, as far as like working in the retail world for like 13 plus years, 15 years, right? And then also me knowing you and your family was it's like, I knew this, not meaning like I value you, I value your family. So it was important to me to make sure we have to be flexible of how that works. And then it's also really great because we're business owners, so we can be like, tomorrow, take off,
But then once we like officially we're like, we're going to do this business, it's weird because a lot of the dynamics of like a marriage started applying, which, you know, I was like, okay, these are the types of things. It is like a marriage.
Yeah, where you learn about each other.
But it's so great too, because at the end of the day, we're not married. So
you're like, see you later, girl.
Yeah.
I've had enough.
I know, because then it's still like, I always try to, I mean, it's easy because just like in a marriage, like, let them make their choices, their decisions. You don't have to, you know, have every detail or every, which, you know, would be hard sometimes, but we're going to be doing this for 10 years down the road. Like, you know, or in our future, like having that peace and having the like compatibility. So there are things that you can apply totally to marriage, right into business.
Those, business relationships. I mean, even Devin was the one who said, she's like, you know, we're talking about like, oh, like when you're in business with someone, it is another relationship.
Yeah, because I'm I need you to be fed. I need you to be rested. I need you to be healthy and happy. Like, just like I am with Mitchell. Like,
no, and the same, like,
I need
for
to
you,
feed him. I need to like
and my thing
take
is,
care
like,
of him.
I need to make sure that you don't feel like you're being taken away from your family, and that the kids are getting all of you, or that I can support by offering to change a diaper, even though he doesn't want me to change his diaper. You know, like,
no. See, that's like the thing is, one of my favorite things about Mitchell is one of the same things. My favorite things about you is like, not that I need it so much, because I've got this huge, you know, tribe of boys around me all the time. But like, my peace gets protected a lot. When I go home, when I like start going to the like I just need to go to the bathroom or something, or if I've been home with the kids all day and I need to use like, Mitchell will be that intervene. Like, he won't
let
even
mom go to the bathroom.
Come knock on the door.
Like,
he protects my peace.
Yes.
If I need a nap, like, there's no question. He'll just like not let any kids come near me for that time. But then like, you do the same thing. You'll just intervene. And
well, because like I see what Michelle's up to. I can stop really quick. Like, this is no big deal.
And not even just with like, just like that. I feel like a little bit of my peace and comfort is like protected.
Good.
Well, I'm glad which it is, I think, like, those are things that you learn over time, like your values. So I think I put out a lot, like, emotionally. So at the end of the day, sometimes I do feel like curling up and like baby. Becoming a baby. It's weird.
I can see that. I can see.
But I'm sure because you have the same thing too.
No, I mean, I think it's true. Like,
like you protecting,
because you protecting my pieces have been like, Zach has said it to me like one time about like, I think he had gone over to your guys' place and it wasn't that it was a terrible day or a hard day, but we've been really busy, and you had made a comment. I think Zach had maybe said, it was something about me coming over there later, and you're like, you had said to Zach, oh, she's probably had enough today. But it was like nothing.
No, because like Asher, I'm like, I wouldn't want.
Well, and like, we're there together when he's being a little bit extra rambunctious or whatever. But it's like, but it was just knowing that, no hard feelings. Because if I don't want to come over, I don't come over. Because then Zach had come home after this event.
But then Zach forgets, because Mitchell said that they forget sometimes that we're with each other all day.
And
Mitchell will be like, "Where's Vicky?" I'm like, "We were just together."
And that's the thing. And I said that to Zach. I was like, he's like, oh, did something happen today? Why did Michelle say that you probably didn't want to come over? Are you guys okay?
Oh, yeah, see,
thinking it was something between us.
But that's why I love that it works, because it's like, no, this is like a...
No, and that's why I'm like, no.
That can go into like the neighborly category of like...
Yeah.
Almost like that. I don't know if I told you, like, when I learned, like, occupying the space that you have, like, this bigger space of like a couple 100 feet around where you live is like what really actually matters the most. Yeah. Right there. So I'm like, okay, it was the brain chemical article I read in the New York Times about how we're sleeping so close to each other that like our brains something are like could actually be transmitting. Yes, because we were actually sleeping at the same time every night in close quarter. Literally. Yeah, probably 100 feet or less. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So, which sometimes I think about that when we're working. So funny. I'm like, we're really always in close proximity.
We really are.
Like we might actually be in tune.
I think, I know. So that could, it could totally, so you're in tune with me, and then days that I don't go over there and where Mitchell's like, where is Vicky? Why isn't she coming over? Yeah. I'm like,
or sometimes I'll most of the time I just send the boys over there, and Mitchell's like, why don't you just go over there? Like, you just made this for her. Or, like, no.
That's fine. Just send the boys over.
That's
great.
Over there. Yeah. I'll send the kid over.
No, that's the same thing as where I'm like, I have to remind Zach, I'm like, babes, I love everybody. I'm just saying I've been with them all day.
Yeah, and you're with Asher all day. Like, I was like, you come over there, he's going to, like, try to punch you in the butt. He's going to try to check to see if you've pooped your pants. Yes. Like... He's going to violate you all over.
Everything that I've done to him, besides punch him in the butt, is, that he'd be like, make sure I'm good, make sure I'm taking... No, but totally, that's just one of the things is, like, protecting each other's peace in that way. Yeah. Because, like, sometimes I'll have to, like, like, remind Zach, too. I'm like, no, I literally, I saw them. I was like, I'm good.
The need to even explain it.
Yeah. I think they're getting better at it. Yes. But you know what I actually started thinking about? I wonder if the guys... But we've been so busy, have started missing movie night.
I think so.
Because we would do movie night like
pretty regularly.
Every other weekend at least, right? We'd find a spooky movie, good or bad.
And then fall asleep on the couch. That happened a few times.
Only a few. And there may be a couple of pictures of Mitchell that had taken pictures of all of us passed out on the couch. But yeah, I think that's what I think about sometimes. It's like, oh, they probably like...
I know. Well, it makes it does make it harder on friendship wise too, I guess, because like when we're planning stuff in advance, like planning to spend more time
with each other. Do we really want to?
Yeah. Because I'm like, should we do something on Friday and Saturday while the boys are out of town? But that means that we would be doing something every single day. Which is totally,
but you know what? We like each other enough that we could. And it's no fuss. It's like if we just ended up sitting on the couch.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a snack.
And there's always something that we should probably be catching up and talking about.
Which we always end up doing.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. Because it's like Mitchell, like, I guess it could apply too for marriages. So Mitchell's good at like planning something at least once a month for us to do without kids that I have no part of. Because I don't want to do any planning.
Yeah.
I do it all.
You do all the time.
Yeah. So, like, those are those types of things where it's like all of a sudden we start talking like about things that I'm like, it doesn't even really matter, but I guess I was holding that in. And not like complaints or anything, but just like weird random stories. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't know why I even told you that.
Well, we need to know. I need to know, okay?
Yeah, you need
There's
to know
a reason I need to know.
Yeah.
I
like
need
what
to
my
know.
stomach feels like every day.
I'm only laughing because I'm thinking about the time.
And how annoying your kids can be.
Like, when I was like, oh, my boobies really like itchy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's like, I need lotion.
And I need to tell someone.
Michelle, guess what? Really dry skin.
Yeah. But then, like, we like know everything.
It's so stupid.
I guess the best part about these good relationships to have are like having many people that can like look after you.
You know what? You're right.
Because that's what I'm like.
You're right.
Like if you were in a coma, God, like we don't want this to happen or anything. But if you went into a coma tomorrow, I would know the basic needs. First off, like, watch out, family.
Well, I got this covered. You don't know. Yeah. You haven't seen her every day for a year.
At her.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. Oh, dang, girl.
Like, somebody get Zach. Help Zach.
Yeah, somebody help Zach for sure. Make sure he ate.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Those are all those things. It's like, I like knowing, it's like a comfort knowing. Like you have got many next of kin out there when you're close.
Yeah.
But that also comes with like, you have to be vulnerable with the person.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do with a lot of people. So your circle does end up being
No,
smaller.
it does get really small because there's a certain point where it's just like, there's energy to be vulnerable with people too, right? There's a release, but then it also takes a lot of energy.
And matching energies.
And is that person...
Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good fun fact. By the age of 40, you haven't even met half of your best friends that you're going to have in your life.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's like a Mel Robbins thing.
I
heard. But
almost... When
I heard that, I was like, that was literally like a push into a feeling good about getting new friends.
Making new friendships.
Yeah. Because what they say is like, I've heard people in the past, like acquaintances and stuff. Because I'm not like close with anybody that I went to high school with.
Yeah.
Or that I like grew up with anymore. Like those were all chapters of like, that have ended. And I moved on. I'm always like moving and changing. But like those core people that have stuck are great, like in my adult life. But I love meeting new friends.
Me too.
Because you know yourself so much better now.
Yes. With that being said...
some of my friends that I've met in the past 5 years are like my people.
So, okay. I really want to add to that because I think that rings really deep with me is because like I like your adult friendships and I said to like some adult friends and be like, you're meeting a version of me that other friends don't know. Not because I'm keeping it a secret, but it's just another part of my life, right? Because they have no preconceived notions of the Vicky that was in elementary school who had a crush on Daniel and, and there's no conceived about like who I was or how I grew up. Like, because now I'm kind of like a formed adult that I'm not swayed or I'm not, the decisions I make are the decisions I make because I want to. The decisions I make are because I care about you or care about others. But of years of experience of heartache or uplift or...
Yeah. And I guess this is certainly not true for everybody, of course, because there are like bad apples out there and stuff. But by the point where we get into like, our 30s, 40s and onward, like... You would hope by that point that person has like their own best interests in mind, which would align with like, we're not doing these petty games that, like those early 20s relationships where it's like a lot of gossipy and, the stuff that came with those friendships that would just be like,
yeah, I would say like even if we just talk about draining. So we can talk about like gossipy and different things like that. I know there was a time in my life where I was really coming into my own. I had broken up with that long-term relationship. It was right around the time I went on that weird woolly mammoth date. But I was really coming like literally I was feeling myself, but in the best possible way. I was like, oh my gosh, like. I am woman, hear me roar in the most cliche but best way, right? I was coming into myself. I was learning to love myself, my body, the way I looked. Like I wasn't ashamed of being this Asian woman in a very white predominant...
Which is a huge shift. And then also like the energy that you're putting out would be attracting the people that you should be with. Exactly.
And I just remember like that petty thing that you were talking about is just being with people who... I just, the things that I heard or the things that people said or how they said about other people, like judging other people or being like, oh, look what they're wearing.
Yeah. Always give the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Like where
and for
you
me,
learn. Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, I was like, I don't want to be that person.
Or you see people that
I don't want to be around those
or like people that resemble or you see the types of behaviors or actions or traits of people that are things that maybe like you had done once or something.
Correct. And then I realized I don't want to. No, exactly. That's what I am not saying I never did it. What I'm saying is
we've talked about like a mean girl era. Like everybody girl goes through it and it's like it can happen here in life.
What I'm admitting to everybody is I had my mean girl era. And I think it was part of during the time of like a very self-conscious version of me, even though I was in my 20s, right? A self-conscious, maybe not as confident, not as...
It comes from like a place of pain normally for all girls.
I mean, I think for me, it was just like, I wouldn't call it really pain.
Not pain, but like...
For me, I think it was just more of like not knowing, just unfamiliar.
Or worry.
Everything, worry, unfamiliar, not knowing what to do. But then
because I can remember every like mean girl instance that I've had, because it like eats me alive, because I'm not like that. It was coming from a place of like, I felt like I had no other choice in that moment, and it was a defense mechanism, and I was, you know, because even like all the times that I did something that was like out of character for me, but maybe somebody remembers me as like that version. Like, you know, of course you feel horrible about it, but you can like allow yourself that like forgiveness and that grace of like, you know,
so anyone that we were mean girls to, we apologize. I don't.
My cousin is always talking about like how she was, you know, like kind of accounting for like the times that she was like mean girl, like in high school and stuff like that, and like finally getting beat up by the older sister of like when she was in like middle school or something like that, and then having like a whole life transformation after that. But it was all coming from like a place of like, you know, almost like turmoil. So, and she's like the sweetest, kindest, most gentle, soft-spoken person ever. So I'm like, just imagine like the younger version of her like that, and you just want to like give her a hug. You know?
No, I get it.
But
well, I mean, I think it was just like one of those like growing into myself and realizing I hated that, because then I thought, I don't want someone to talk to me about me like that. You know, because like the way that they were speaking about somebody, I was like, oh my gosh, what if I am wearing that cute outfit that maybe doesn't fit your style, but it's like new for me. Like I didn't want to be judged on trying a new style. I didn't want to be judged on liking new music
or things that you can't even control.
I didn't want to be judged on, you know, what is called code switching, right? Not that everyone has a different type of personality with different people that they are with. And I hated that idea that I might be with you one day, and then I might be with my friend Michaela one day, and then I'm just a little bit different. Not because it's just everybody draws something different, right? Because when I'm with you, we laugh all the freaking time. Like, belly laugh. At least once a day about stupid nonsense. Does it happen with everybody else that I'm around? No, not generally. But it doesn't mean I don't value and love my experiences with these people. And, you know, so like the code switching of like, I have a girlfriend who's like into designer clothing and designer, but she's not in a bad way, but like she's into it, meaning like she knows about these brands and she's familiar and she can appreciate the beauty behind all of it. And like, I'm not, but you know what? If you want to go into that store, let's go. You want to walk into the Chanel store? I'll do it with you, you know. And
and I totally get that too. And I think that's pretty common. I think that's pretty common. That is like
it is common, but it's also now, a good thing. But what I'm saying is, you don't want to be judged by somebody who maybe like, hasn't.
She
had
doesn't like that.
Correct. Or like, why would you go into there? You wouldn't buy that stuff. Like, no, I wouldn't. But I want to see what it looks like. I want to smell that leather.
Strong
you know,
convictions on things like that.
Yeah, and it's just like
which is why those are like red flags to me now in relationships or friendships. If people who have like really strong convictions on things that are. That trivial.
That aren't that big of a deal, right?
Yeah, like I would never wear that. I would never drive that. No, we don't eat that, or you know, like for reasons that are like trivial.
Yeah,
like,
that's just you know, I get it. So we've grown.
Yeah,
we're so grown.
Yeah,
we have had so much therapy.
Totally.
Yeah. I think it's like,
but then we can get like really, really into like astrology and energies and whatever that is, but like your first best relationship should be like with yourself.
Yeah.
Which is one of those things like I always talk about, like future self.
Yeah, your future self.
It makes a huge difference. We were talking about it at your birthday party last weekend.
Yeah, we were, weren't we? Wait, were we? Was that
a little bit?
Was that at nighttime or daytime?
Daytime. Was that earlier me or later me?
The different versions of me that you and a few people got the pleasure of seeing.
No, I think it was daylight hours still.
Okay.
And about how you always talk about things like your inner monologue.
Oh, right? Yes. And
then like the cues for like being present.
Yes.
And how I like had to learn, and a lot of it came with like that gym and health and wellness because you can really get into meditation and stuff. But to the physical cues for like getting out of your head. Yeah. And becoming present. Yeah. Like just like those mantras of like you're doing this for your future self, your tomorrow self. Yeah. Doesn't want you to be doing this in your head for 3 hours every day.
Yeah.
Like, so then you're like, okay, like those are those, like, I learned lots of little cues and tricks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that conversation.
Yeah.
I forgot about that conversation. Well, okay. What else? I don't know why I stopped and made it so weird like that.
Well, we kind of been going back and forth between all of the dynamic
Yeah, I guess
friends.
we have, like, dynamic friends and stuff like that. What do you think about, like, friendships as adults? Like, we know, okay, there's love relationships are hard. We know that. But they're also really great and beautiful and easy. But have you ever experienced, like, sustaining friendship relationships long term, or like complicate?
Yeah.
What am I trying to say? You know what I'm saying? Can you tell the people what I'm trying to say? What am I trying to say?
Like,
I've been struggling this week. When I turned the age that I am, which I think is 39, I've all of a sudden lost my memory in these past 3 days.
Our words.
My words have disappeared. I need ginkgo biloba.
Yeah.
I need some ginkgo biloba and ashwagandha. So I think friendships can sometimes be more complicated than romantic relationships.
Definitely. But then learning how to, like, give yourself the acceptance and allowance to like move on from friendships that are still affecting you, maybe not in a good way. Or a lot of people, I think, struggle with those friendships that have been so long, but now it's not working on how to do it. Like, they'll still just keep maintaining something. So yeah, like toxic relationships or anything that's like toxic to your life. Like, those are not sustainable, obviously. Yeah. I feel like saying toxic is so harsh, though. And it's so cliche right now. It really Everybody says it. I would just say complicated. Well, this is going to be like a multi-episode. We might have more to say. Yeah. Relationships. Because there's a lot. There's a lot. It was a lot. Emotionally, you guys kind of got a sneak peek into our inner lives outside of Recouped and making reusable bags and stuff like that. So, yeah. Thanks for listening to this episode. I'm Michelle. And I am Vicky. If you'd like to hear more, if you'd like to hear more about what's going on, you can find information about us on our. You guys, I turned 39 and I forgot everything. Okay, wait. Let me try this again. Michelle said, if you'd like to find out more, I need to say you can find more information about us. I don't know, at www.recoupedpnw.com, or find us on Instagram. You can follow us and see what we're all about. And also to keep us going. Yes. We like to do more research. And if you want to keep hearing more, we do have a tip jar. You can throw us a couple coins along the way. We'd really appreciate it. Yeah, you could even, rate us, review us. Ooh, yeah. You can leave a comment even about your own experience with sustainable relationships, friendships, colleagues, and so forth, because we want to know. And maybe we'll have a chance to talk about it and give some... Yes, we'd love to know any stories. Any relationship sustainable tips that you have. Tips or don't do's. Yeah, don't do's, because you've experienced it all. Yeah. On the other hand, we appreciate you. Thanks for joining us today. And remember to reduce, reuse, and recoup. Till the next time. Okay, love you. Bye. Bye.